Good morning, welcome back to Someone Scott Selections here for Saturday, June 26th. For you in today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in baseball with the Nationals on the money line at plus 121 on Bet Online. We took it for a pure value play. Nationals had been great, winning 10 of 11, and Miami's offense was atrocious. And then Miami's offense randomly scored 11 runs, and Washington got killed. So it happens. Look for a bounce back winner here on Saturday. And for the play of the day, we're looking at the only basketball game on the card between the Suns and the Clippers for Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. And the play of the day is going to be on the home underdog here. We like the Clippers on the money line at plus 100 on BetMGM. Time recording of 1:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Couple reasons why I like the Clippers in the spot. First of all, Clippers, of course, lost the first two games of the series and people started to panic, but this is familiar territory for the Clippers because they have gone down 0-2 in every series they've been in so far this postseason, and they've responded quite well, winning Game 3 and Game 4 in each of those first two series. They won Game 3 in this series, so they're going to be trying to make it the three-peat for Game 4 victories on Saturday. But looking at the Clippers and looking at how they've performed at the Staples Center so far in the postseason, it's been very interesting. Of course, the Clippers did lose the first three home games against the Mavericks, but since then, they have been dominant at the Staples Center. The Clippers have won each of their last 5 home games by at least 12 points. So the Staples Center has been rocking, and the Clippers have definitely benefited from the crowd presence and the crowd noise, and I do think that'll be the case once again in Game 4. Now, looking at what the Suns struggled with in Game 3, it was pretty much everything. They only scored 92 points, and if you want to look at the main contributors for the Suns, Chris Paul did not shoot well from the floor in his first game back from COVID, and Devin Booker was awful for the second straight game. Booker went 5 for 21, 1 for 7 from 3, 15 points. That's not going to get it done, especially with a guy of Booker's caliber. And looking at Paul, he went 5 for 19. Now, going back to Booker quickly, first game, of course, he had 40. He was great in the opener of the series, but the last two games, he's been terrible. Now, you go through the numbers, 10 for 37 from the floor, 2 for 10 from 3. Of course, he also has the broken nose and the face mask. I do question if that's causing him a little bit of discomfort. Maybe that's just impacting his eyesight and his actual stamina. He can't exactly breathe out of his nose. But looking at the actual defensive matchups the Clippers have used against him, they've really done a great job of putting multiple bodies on him. You have Beverly, who is very good at pressing, even if you don't think he's a great player. He's always been a physical defensive guard. Plus, you do have George, you do have Mann. They have a lot of defensive guys with a length, and I do think that is causing Booker some problems, and I do think he will continue to struggle in this spot. But looking at another serious problem for the Suns, it was DeAndre Ayton. Now, Ayton, of course, has been a phenomenal contributor for the Suns' playoff run, and he did have the game-winning alley-oop dunk in Game 2, but he did have 18 and 9 in Game 3, so you'd think that he played pretty well. Unfortunately, he was a team low minus 25, or the worst on the team in plus minus at minus 25. To make matters worse, Zubac, his counterpart on the Clippers, ended up being a plus 28 and had 15 and 16. The main issue that Ayton's had in his career has been defense, mostly in pick and roll, and the Clippers seemed to find something in Game 3, which really made Ayton just look completely lost, and I do think you will see them just really go at Ayton pretty much the entire game in the pick and roll. And I do think that's a concern because the Suns' backup big man is arguably Dario Saric, which I do think is a real problem. So if Ayton's going to get shelled in pick and rolls, you don't really have much of a backup plan, which is kind of the Achilles heel of the Suns team. Plus, if you want to talk about potential bench issues, the Suns don't really have many weapons. Now, I know, of course, you're going to say to yourself, Cameron Payne, who had a game-high 29 points in Game 2. However, he only played 4 minutes in Game 3 with an ankle injury, and he did not return. He's currently questionable for this game. If he doesn't play, they're going to be throwing out the likes of Saric, Craig, and Cam Johnson. That's pretty much it. I don't exactly think that bench unit is very good if you take Payne out of the equation. And you're looking at the Clippers on the other hand. You do have Batum. You have Morris, who's a game-time decision, but he should probably suit up. I don't know how effective he's going to be, but you still have Kennard. You have a decent amount of options there off the bench, and I do think that the Clippers should be able to take advantage of this limited Suns second unit. But at the end of the day, the Clippers have been a dominant home team for the last couple of weeks, and the Clippers really have seemed to be dialed in defensively against the Suns offense and have really found a nice recipe on offense against DeAndre Ayton. Plus, if you look at Paul George, he has been great in the absence of Kawhi Leonard, and Leonard will be missing this game as well. At the end of the day, Suns are currently 1-point favorites, and I just don't see it that way. I think the Clippers looked like the better team in Game 3. You make an argument they'll take the better team in Game 2. And at the end of the day, I do think there's some value at even money on the Clippers in this spot. So the play today, once again, here for Saturday, June 26th, is going to be on the Clippers, on the money line at plus 100 on BetMGM. Bye, everyone.